Hey y'all, welcome to What's Up Next. I'm Demetrius.
And I'm Justine.
You are now tuned into our podcast where we take a deep dive into some interesting topics and everyday situations that we face as a young millennial couple.
For those of you who don't know us, What's Up Next is a play on my soon-to-be last name, but it's for sure a common phrase in our household. Anyway, let's stop talking and let's get into this week's episode.
Let's get it.
You look manny. Like you look like a lion.
Hey, it's a different look.
It's a new day.
Everybody see me with the hats on. Everybody see me with braids, but they never see me with my hair out. So, hey, it is what it is, man.
Lengthy. How much? You got some length to you. All
This
right.
podcast ain't about my hair. What's going on?
Anyway, what's up, Watts? How are you feeling?
I'm good. Shout out to everybody listening and tuned in on this lovely
Shout
day.
out to our listeners. If you're new to our podcast, welcome. We're happy you're here. Glad you found us, whichever way that was.
Straight up.
All right, let's start it off.
What we doing?
Pick a pod deck card.
Pod deck card. Here we go. What technology do you wish existed?
Ooh.
I already know what this is for me.
I wish there was a way that I could transport faster.
Okay, like a teleportation device.
Yes.
Like the one off Family Matters.
Yes.
Yeah, it would.
And if I could come out looking finer like Steve Urkel, that'd be even better.
Okay, we're talking about two different machines. So,
Oh.
so one he did that, took his swag up, and that's how he became Stefan. But the one I'm talking about is the teleportation device where you stepped on it and they end up going to Paris.
Yes.
Yeah, so
But
that's
he's
the
still
one.
Stefan in Paris, though. So how do you get to...
Okay, but we're talking about a different device.
Okay.
Anyways, okay, cool. Mine was always like the Jimmy Neutron haircut machine that he had. That was styled as haircut in the morning.
Such a barber.
Yeah, but if you could have your desired haircut like in a in a system, and like some robots could cut your hair for you, and your line was crisp every time, and it was like
You know that would take you out of business, right?
yeah, but I want it.
Alrighty. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the topic for the week.
All right, bet. So there was a thought that had came to me earlier this week. Was it 2 days ago now?
Yeah.
2 days ago?
Yeah.
Yesterday? And the thought was, you are capable of creating the standards in which others will hold you to. Don't be upset when someone acknowledges an action that is irregular or unconventional to the system that you have created. Instead, we should be honored or take it as a compliment that it was viewed as such. And I'll tell you where that came from. So, for those who don't follow us on social media,
You should.
You should, yeah. Go ahead and follow us on What's Up Next on all platforms. There's _ after Watts on IG. Anyways, we suffered a severe storm in Texas.
Yeah.
So we out here in Dallas, Texas, and there was a crazy storm. Anyways, we ended up losing our power, right?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock early in the day. We were actually about to work on a class. We had just started.
And the power went out. And we also, mind you, it was 103 degrees that day. So
Yeah.
we were just coming out of the hundreds going into 90 at 7 o'clock.
So we lost AC. We lost. Everything was gone. So we chucked it up to the game as, hey, somebody hit something. The wind knocked something down. We lost our power. So what do? We're like, dang, okay, we can't cook. We order pizza. Cool. Haven't really had pizza in a long time, but we ordered it. It was like, yo, this will be cool. We can eat it the next day if the power isn't back. We'll be all right. Let's make this decision. Made the decision, got the pizza. And so, like I said, if you follow me on social media, I posted about it, making light of the situation. And the next day, I had multiple people, not just one, a lot of people that I rock with, respond like, yo, is that a cheat meal? Or, yo, that don't look too healthy, or whatever it was. Were centered around like, that's not that's not a healthy meal. That's not you. And at first I was like, yo, why is everybody thinking like I can't eat pizza? We can't eat pizza. And what I ended up generalizing the whole thing to was just like, yo, don't take it as a shot, as like you falling out of your system, but much more so that your system is so strong in regards to health and exercise. Anything that doesn't look apart, people are going to view as that it's out of whack. It's irregular for you to do this. And so I took it as a compliment. And understanding that, yo, I have created this system and belief that I'm very disciplined when it comes to my health and my exercise. So anything that is opposing to that, people are going to look twice
and question it. Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, that was that was my feelings on that. And it really came down to me truly being in control of the expectations other people have over me.
Yeah, and the narrative that people know of you, or I won't even say narrative, but like what they know you for. Like they know Watts gets up at 5 a.m. He works out. He does this. He meal preps. He like all
Whatever.
Of that.
Yeah.
Compiled, and then when you kind of throw it off the track, they're like,
yeah.
Wait.
And it's easy to look at that and people and me internalize, yo, you think I'm falling off, or internalize that people are almost praying or waiting for your downfall.
Yeah.
It's like you wasn't really tripping, or you didn't acknowledge the things when I'm cycling 15 miles or when I'm running 3 miles, or when I didn't post anything about my meal prep 2 weeks prior to that, but you had lined up the meal prep for us.
Yeah.
Fish, vegetables, and some rice. I didn't post none of that, but it's not that I need to, but of course, people will only believe what you show them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that just plays into the whole idea of social media in regards to posting highlights versus the non-highlights, the low lights, if you will.
The low lights. Yeah. And I asked you the other day, like, why do we find so much, and I say shame lightly, but shame in posting the lows of things. And I think it also comes from not wanting to hear what people are going to say when you post that low, like, or what they're subconsciously going to think of, like, hey, bro, I knew it wasn't that great. It was too good to be true. There's no way you could have kept that up.
Mm-hmm. And it really discourages you from even wanting to share your lows. And then we wonder why we have nothing but highlights. And then we wonder why we have depression, because everybody's looking at everybody's life like, dang, they have it better than mine. Because y'all discourage people being authentic all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And granted, I'm taking a very small situation. I do not care what people think about me eating pizza because it's pizza and it was very good. And I told you the other day, like, yo, this is easy. One of the top 10 entrees of all time. Maybe top 5.
Top five.
Yeah. Yeah. But what I had thought about that in regards to controlling the expectations that people have for you is I quickly went back to my younger days. And this is me being transparent with where I've been and then where I'm at now. Early on in adolescence, I would say like middle school, 12, 13, I had got involved with like the typical stuff. You know what I'm saying? Smoking weed. Like I even, you would think about Black and Milds, like, or, your partner's smoking cigarettes, the things that people had deemed as cool. So you kind of felt the need to engage in those activities. And so I got in trouble for smoking weed one time. My family, if y'all listen to this, I know you're going to laugh and be like, dang, that was a crazy time. And, my mom handled it as every real parent would. We won't speak on that. But I ended up going into high school, not smoking, not touching a blunt, not doing nothing. And all throughout high school, all my partners, even if they did it, they knew, don't ask Watts or don't entice Watts because he's going to say no. And this, we don't even have to guess. Yeah. This is who he is. This is what he stands on. I set the standard. And so it's funny because towards the end of high school, like say even we're near graduation or I've already graduated, if I would joke like, "Hey, bro, pass me that," my partners would look at me like, "Huh?" Like, "Nah, bro, like stop playing." And I use that as an example because there was so much power in me creating this dynamic of, yo, this is who I am and this is what I do, and people could only fall in line with that system, or with those principles that I held myself to. Not too many people challenged them, just kind of out of respect, like, hey, yo, he been saying no for years now.
He ain't gonna change.
Yeah, he ain't gonna change. And so I just thought that was like a direct correlation of the power that we have as individuals.
Absolutely.
You feel me?
Yeah, and I think about like a quote that I used to, when on MySpace or on Twitter, like you could put quotes that you stood up for and like things that, whatever. I would always say like, you stand for something or you'll fall for everything. And like, that's very minimal, but like, you constantly reassuring like, hey, I'm not about that. I'm not going to engage in that. I don't want to do that. Translated to someone saying like, okay, I understand you. I respect whatever your decision is. And once you kind of switch that over, people start to question. And I can tell me if I'm wrong, but once you probably did that or you were open to the idea of, people probably started to poach at it like, do you want to? Do you not want to? Or started re-inviting you into that action.
Once I opened that door back up?
Yep.
Sure. I guess you could say that. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. If you break on your principles or if you fold in any type of way, I think you do invite people to challenge or want to get you to do the things that you haven't done. So for example, I got a partner. He has never smoked nor drank. And when he tells people that in the shop, people look at him like, never, nothing. Huh? You haven't did this?
I was one of those people.
You haven't did that? And he's like, no, bro, I don't plan on. And if you talk to him and get to know him, you will know why he's really firm and stern on that. That's a principle for him that he abides by. And once I heard that from him in the reasoning, it was like, yo, mad respect. I would never even try to jeopardize that for you, especially if that's something you don't ever intend on wavering on.
Right.
But you'll be surprised at people who be like, man, one day, we'll get you to do something, and it's just like, bro, I'm not budging on that. So if you never even give the slightest inclination that you may be open to the idea, people aren't really gonna, not people that respect you and love you. Now, of course, there might be some outsiders or strangers that may get, a kick out of it, but not the ones closest to you. One other thing I feel that on the flip side of this whole thing is, don't allow people to box you in.
Speak on that.
On certain things that you like. So if I have a history of not being timely or not being, fully invested in my livelihood from health and wealth and whatnot, don't let people hold you to that standard of, yo, that's all you've been and that's all you'll ever be. And you think you can't elevate or be more or do more. You know what I'm saying? It's never too late to get fit. It's never too late to start reading. It's never too late to start practicing therapy. It's never too late to engage on a new business venture. Like, don't let people box you in based on however long you've been a certain way.
Yeah. Yeah. You said that this morning. You were like,
and I know that's on the flip side. It's like completely opposite of what I was saying right there. But I think it's also important to acknowledge that, because a lot of people don't start out with the best practices, but end up making changes for the better, and then creating those systems in which people can hold those standards to.
Right. You said this morning, how did you word it? And for me specifically, you can be a corporate employee, but that doesn't mean that you can't be this person. Or if we went out and told 10 of our friends that we're thinking about investing into this specifically, they would kind of look at you sideways like,
you ain't built for that.
You ain't ready for that.
Yeah.
And again, and I say this same thing I said in the last episode, is don't allow someone else's negative thoughts, justified negative thoughts, to cast over you and be like, okay, maybe I can't do it, or maybe I'm not capable, or maybe I shouldn't do this or start this. Like you said, like, don't be boxed in by anything that someone may be portraying over you. If you feel like you're ready to take that next step or go to that next level, be disciplined in your workouts. Do that. You know, like, I think being boxed in, and I say this with work, is I think a lot of people that I work with think that this is my end all be all. It's interesting because I had a really good conversation with my direct report yesterday, and I felt really good about it. She was really positive, was just telling me, you know, you're young and this is a great opportunity for you. This is a blessing. And I'm kind of like, in my head, this ain't it. Like, not the job. I love my job, but this is not the end goal for me. Because she's my direct report, to be in your position, to be in my boss's position is not my end goal. But I think they think that is. Yeah. So they're kind of like boxing me into this, like, how do we develop you to get here? Yeah. And it's like, that's not really where I want to be, nor do you know that. And I haven't really ever spoke to my colleagues or peers or whomever about like me doing real estate stuff and things like that. So they really don't know, but it's just interesting how the natural ability to box someone in and trying to develop them, or trying to, hey, this is it, I'm giving it to you, but it may not ultimately be what that person wants.
Yeah. Or not. When you say that, I think of your capabilities, them not being aware of what you've already decided in your mind that you want to do.
Yeah.
And how honestly capable you are. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You've already took every step necessary. You've already done things in real estate that a lot of people don't know about. And it's like they look at you like, oh, man, you just turned 24. Like, this job is amazing for you. Like, you man, you don't know how good you have it. And you're like, bro. And no knock to your job, but this is anybody. Like, yo, I've already got my mind set on the next thing.
Yeah.
I'm already knowing how I'm going to transition from this. And I speak on, like, use me for example. Like, I don't want to just be a barber cutting 10 heads a day. You know what I'm saying? Granted, people can probably look at my statements, can probably look at my clientele, can probably look at my style of life and be like, man, you got time for this, and you can still make a nice, decent living. Oh, man, you got it made. It's like, yo, I'm trying to figure out
progressively thinking about the next
thing. Yeah. I'm progressively thinking about the next thing, and that just comes with knowing what it is that you want to do, or how far you want to take it, or how much you truly aspire to elevate. You know? Right.
And that's a great way to, like, kind of tie in the beginning of the podcast to, like, the middle gem is, if you aspire to be great, don't think about the negative things that people are saying to you in whichever way that comes, but also think about yourself outside of the box. Like, rather than saying, like, don't let people box you in, think about yourself outside of the box. Like, what do you look like when you elevate? And I know one mentor of mine said, like, do you think that you can be the top real estate agent? Yes. So why are you not calling yourself the top real estate agent? I said, I don't think I'm there yet. I don't think I deserve it.
Being humble and meek.
Being humble, right? Yeah. But if you don't call yourself what you want to be, or hang around what you want to be, or try and put yourself in that mindset, you're not going to develop or get there and push out the greatness, the productivity that you've been working on. Like, it's just not going to happen. So you have to start to think that way.
For sure.
Put yourself outside the box.
It's like a natural law. What is it? Think and grow rich. I'm not going to get into the book because I didn't finish it. But, you know, what you think out and what you put out is what you shall receive. The universe is going to reciprocate that.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? That's what affirmations are.
Yeah.
You say things, you speak them into existence, and not just that, but you work at them. Mm-hmm. And that's the recipe for it.
Yeah. Commit to yourself this week. Try and commit to yourself. Like, if you're going to say, and I've said this to myself beginning of the month, if I'm going to work out every single day, whatever that looks like, commit to yourself, because the minute that you lie to yourself is the minute that you stop and you have to start all over. And the last person you want to lie to is yourself. So,
that's a fact.
That's my quote for you guys this week. Hopefully you tuned in on a fabulous Wednesday. If you didn't, and this is a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, maybe the next Monday, then it is what it is. I'll catch you next Wednesday on What's Up Wednesday. We appreciate y'all tuning in.
And stay positive and create the lifestyle and the expectations that you want others to hold you to. You have the power to do so.